my lovers! It's MJ. I still from time to time get inspired to just go live and have a little noodle, as in a thought spasm or something, wanting to just share about like global affairs. I title it to try to direct myself in as far as sharing a loving perspective as the world around us continues to morph and change, and as we continue to morph and change. In my own personal, and I do believe so many others, endeavoring to transform human consciousness, or endeavoring to transform our perspective here so that we, as a people that share this planet, can coexist, right? Like harmoniously. It's a profound vision and prayer and and knowing for a better time on earth for more people. And these sort of patterns of war and the cycles are essentially like, it's the same energy, right? Violence. There's a good friend of mine makes music, and they're talking about, there's a line in one of his songs about how like it's all violence at the root, right? So because really we're unpacking like a widespread, part of me wants to say like military war complex, but it's like intertwined with corporate monopoly, and I guess like having access to resources on the planet. And in a sense, I'm getting like part of that resources is our attention as a people, where we direct our attention, what we feed, what we're, looking at. And at this stage of my life, there's simply a deep faith that, we're all on our own journey, that it's all held in some divine grace, and that we all have a choice to act out of love and peace and a sense of clarity and compassion, regardless of the outcome. So many in our historical framework, we talk about prophets and messengers, and so often they were killed, right? But that's the level, I think, of integrity of truth. And from that perspective, like eternal life, there's less fear of the physical death when there's a deep connection to spirit, right? And then I was just listening, as you do, to like some TikTok things, and I really like this different kind of academic people or people sharing information, and a female talking about the Bible and the Quran, and there is a difference around the kind of how we've interpreted these texts in different parts of the world. And she was distinguishing that, like, in Christianity, we talk about, like, we're born a sinner and we have to, like, essentially bow to Jesus or find Jesus and ask for forgiveness, right? And be forgiven, and then we're good. And then in the Quran, she's like, we're not born, humans aren't a sinner, human are vessels of God. So it's not about knowing God. We can never know God in these individual bodies, but we can act God's will, right? We can. And then as I even say that with my own mind perspective, I'm like, dang, that's the level of compassion. Is a sense of like, so, having faith and trust that like even atrocities are an act of God, or somehow people thinking that they're acting out God's will. But I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if that's more intertwined with a greed or powerlessness, a divisive power that wants to own. Because I think most of us on this side of the fence, there's no like, never. I mean, I've been vegan most of my life because I can't even fathom killing insects, let alone another human being. And even just the emotional pain of witnessing conflict, or dives us into that sense of alchemy to heal and just so deeply want more peace and love and compassion and fairness and all that stuff. Yeah, there's no answers. This was part of the noodle sharings, right? It was just having a stream of thought and going, okay, yeah, no answer as such, other than like a genuine reflection of, wherever you are. If you stumble along this video, no matter how bad it looks, there's a deep love for your existence. Like, just whether you're good or bad or right or wrong, however, these sort of laws apply to every single one of us. That's, I think, some of the crux of this work is it keeps coming back to ourselves. Dang, and then you gotta forgive, and let go of these conflicts, these aspects of separation within self, because we're the only ones ever experiencing it. Wow, says the mind is amazing. My mind just randomly flipped off into like a totally different area of life, and in our personal relationships, I've spoken to this in different shares, but name calling, even I would say high level experts and people that are at the top of their game in any field of study, there's always going to be like a mystery. There's always going to be a like, well, that was what we thought at one point, and then things changed and now we think this. So it's like being that made me think of another Bashar thing about truly visioning a peaceful world, truly praying that we can make our way to this sort of like the truth of the power, and obviously from a higher harmonic of empathy, love, compassion, and a reflection of the true unity of our spirit and our existence, just so that, in a cyclical, infinite sense, we can experience. For some of us, it's been a long road, maybe, of suffering, pain, and separation, and violence, and such things that eventually we can lay down that experience and like, how to create a higher harmonic of yeah. And I just genuinely believe it's very, very available, true, real, divine, beyond us, mostly individually speaking, and yet a sense of like, why we're going to be okay. And we can feel the impact of things we see because we're all connected, right? And so deep in our hearts, we know stuff. And, I speak to these sorts of things because part of the brand that I've created speaks to certain things. And this is something I've been into since I was like a teenager, right? As soon as I learned about the sneakiness of slave labor, I immediately knew that I would boycott brands or boycott corporation in as far as like monopolizing the market, but also like how that has infiltrated into monopoly. My alarm interrupted me. Monopolizing our minds, freedom of choice. And we're just in this sort of slave trade of shopping and working and shopping and working. And how do we get out of it, right? It'd be interesting to see how things unfold. But I have absolute faith in all of us, to keep sharing the love in our hearts and to keep doing the healing work and visioning the best for ourselves as well. Gosh, I think I speak to these things. I'm like, there's so much more I could do, and I, at the same time, I'm like, I'm here alive, my use me. But then I also flip into like just the humanity of it. Yeah, I think we're all tired too, and that, there comes points in our life where certain ambitions just don't fuel the energy, and we shift. And I'm a homebody. I want to garden lots and just snack on things and talk to my friends, and it's a simple life, but there's so much to be grateful for. And there's this sense of gratitude, but also this like deep inner love heart vibratory of like a radical time of faith and like getting clear-minded, like Jedis, use the force, my lovers, see the path kind of thing. Vibrate the cosmos and the cosmos clears the path. It's that simple. It's like just throwing around these different memes and quotes and thinking we're all gonna get it. But yeah, I sometimes start to go into like, oh, the depth and layer of, and then I'm not gonna overthink it. Let's just keep loving, right? Let's just keep going. I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening to my little noodle shares. I appreciate all of you, and really dig on the comments and the friends I've made over the years. You guys are amazing, and so much love and appreciation for all of you. Let's finish this close. Bye bye. Bye bye, you guys. Have a great day. Lots of love. Peace out.